Another important thing to remember is that when reading lines from a file, the lines will end with a newline character, that is, \n. And when performing operations on the read lines, we want to first remove the newline character. This can be done using the rstrip method, which is a string method. And since the lines in a file are returned as strings when using a read method, we can apply rstrip on a read line. The rstrip method removes the newline character from the end of line if we provide \n as an argument to the method. But to note, rstrip can only be used directly with readline method, since this is the only method that returns a string. For example, the readlines method returns a list of strings, and therefore rstrip cannot be used directly on the list. In this example, we use readline method to read 3 lines from the file. For each of these 3 statements, readline returns a string, and hence, rstrip can be used directly in combination with readline and \n as an argument to the method. The rstrip method can also be used when we read line by line from the file. First, we iterate over the file, reading one line at the time using a for loop. Then we use the rstrip method on the variable line, which contains the content from one line in the file and which has been returned as a string. The rstrip method can also be combined with readlines method. However, readlines returns a list of strings, where each value in the list is a line from the file. This means rstrip cannot be used directly on the list variable, but we can combine rstrip with a for loop, where we loop over all values in the list and apply rstrip on each one of these values. First, we use readlines to read and store all lines in a list variable. Thereafter, we iterate over all values in the list using the for loop, and for each value in the list, which is stored in the variable line, we apply rstrip to remove the newline character.